Sometimes some of the most overlooked amp models we have in the Helix are the Line 6 originals. And if we were to totally ignore those, I think it would be a big mistake. We have some incredible amps there. In today's episode of Helix Amps Revisit, I'm going to take a look at one of the Line 6 originals that can give us some great heavy rock tones, and that is the Line 6 Epic amp model. With as much distortion on tap as that amp has, today I'm going to actually show you that we can actually get some lower to mid gain tones of it that are going to work quite nicely. Now, the preset we're going to put together is going to be a single snapshot preset. And this is going to be extremely similar to one of the snapshots from my Epic Ultimate preset that's available on the Line 6 Marketplace. I will have the links below to both the free preset we're going to make today, available at my website, and I'll have a link below to the full-blown multi-snapshot preset with a full array of effects, which is the Epic Ultimate preset. And later in the video, I'm going to play you a demo of a full production where I used the various snapshots from the full-blown Epic Ultimate preset from the Line 6 Marketplace together in a production with a rhythm section and let you hear what it all sounds like when used together. And if you're so inclined, you can grab a copy of that preset at the Marketplace at the link below. But without further ado, let's dive right in and create the little preset that we're going to have today. The link will be below at my website if you want to grab this one for free and mess around with it. And I hope you enjoy how it sounds. All right, so here we are over in HX Edit. We're looking at the Line 6 Epic amp model today, and I did a couple things here. Like last week's Helix Amps Revisit, I with this preset, which I made quite a while ago, I have the dual cabs. Now, I did have a very good question, somebody asking why I didn't just use the dual cab here, and you very well could have. There's really going to be no difference in the way that I'm using it. What I've done here is I've blended two cabs together, 412 Greenback 25, along with a 412 Brit V30, and these are the new cabs that we got with the firmware 3.5. If you were to use the dual cab, you would basically come in here and balance the two different cabs if you so desired by using the level, and you can also pan them. But I'm not doing anything fancy with that. I'm simply using a split AB. I'm routing a little more signal to, in this case, the top path or the top cab. So it works fine either way, but there was no particular reason why I chose to go with two cabs. You could shrink that down to one dual cab if you so desired. Either way would work fine. So I have my typical little template here. I have my LA Studio Comp at the end, very subtle on this one. Peak reduction of 4, a gain of 5, the type is compression, and a mix of 75% just to kind of give it some old New York style blended compression. So it blends in some of the dry signal along with the compressed signal. So if you were to bring this down to like 50%, you'd get just as much unaffected dry signal as you would be getting the full-blown compressed signal. So I'm going to have that in this particular preset around 75%. I've got my parametric EQ block here being used for nothing other than low and high cut, as oftentimes I utilize it in that manner. Just in case I want to do something with it at a later date, I have it there. I don't have to go take a block out and put another one in. Low cut of 100 hertz, high cut of 8 kilohertz. So fairly low on the high cut for this one, just worked for me for what I was going for. Plate reverb, decay of 4, pre-delay of 15 milliseconds, mix of 28%. And I have my low and high shelf EQ with very typical settings for me that just adds a nice little polish to the sound, I find. Low and high frequency, both set at 650 hertz. All the frequencies above 650, boosted by 1 dB. All the frequencies below 650, cut by 2 dB. And that's to control the low end and the kind of muddier low mid frequencies, while this gives us a little bit of fullness and a little bit of bite. But again, I'm using this in a very subtle manner. As we'll hear later, we'll turn this on and off and you can hear the difference between it on and off, and you'll just find it adds a little bit of polish. It's not really going to make a dramatic difference, but I find when you add all these elements in, and we will A/B the before and after in a few moments, you will notice that they just give us a much more polished sound that's ready for the mix, whether live or in the studio. And the way we'll compare these afters, you'll notice I have the full-blown preset here, push on the snapshot 1. And if I go to this snapshot 2, it's just amp cab. So it's going to get rid of all of those and give us something that is just going to be amp and cab. So you can compare the sound of adding these little sweetener blocks at the end. So now moving on to the cabs. As I mentioned already, I used the 412 Greenback 25 with a 121 ribbon on the cap edge, 3 inches back. No low and high cut there because I did that over here in the parametric. And then I have another cab that it's a 412 Brit V30 with a 57 dynamic 1 inch distance cap edge, but angled 45 degrees. So blending those together, what I've done is I've routed it on the split path A35, meaning there's more blend of the top cab here, or the cab with the 121 ribbon is going to be more predominant in the sound. Just blended a little bit of this in for some cuts. Now, onto the amp controls. You'll notice here, I'm going about as low gain on this as we can possibly get. Drive at 0.5, bass 5.6, mid at 3, treble at 5.7, presence at 5.5, channel volume cranked to 10, master at 4, sag at 3.3, hum ripple at 5, bias at 6.1, and bias X at 5. All right, so if we do this and we simply go to our amp cab, I'm going to play some examples through some different guitars. I'm going to first of all utilize my black Vigier GV wood semi-hollow with amber PAF style pickups. Love this guitar. This is what it sounds like with everything turned off, and we'll add the blocks in one at a time after. So here is the sound of just the amp and the cab. This is the bridge pickup. Into the neck pickup. Keep in mind, my full-blown Epic Ultimate preset is going to actually have full array of effects and multiple snapshots of various gain levels. It's going to be a very useful preset, and you'll get to hear that later in the demo video. So if I bring in the LA Studio comp here, now you'll notice here that on the actual preset you'll download, I have the level at 0 dB. That's because, well, it actually will give it a little bit of a volume boost, but for comparison purposes here, I wanted to have it more at unity gain, so we get a good idea of what the compressor is actually bringing to the table here when we add it in. The reason I don't worry too much about unity gain or not unity gain is that I'm kind of just leaving this on all the time. It's an always on thing. But if you want the ability to switch this on and off without affecting the volume of the overall preset, you can just drop this to around -4. So with this off, we add it in. You'll just get a slight feel difference. Just a tiny little bit of squish in there. Okay, we'll bring our low and high cuts in. Just tightens up the bottom end, smooths out the highs a bit. We'll bring in that plate reverb and kind of bring it to life. Doing what the reverb should do. Really liking this, a nice low gain crunch out of these settings. And then we'll bring in our low and high shelf EQ. You'll just hear some of that low mud goes away. It tightens up the bottom a little bit more and just adds a little shimmer to the top end. And again, it just polishes it. It makes it a little bit more mix ready, in my opinion. So here's what we're going to do. On this second snapshot, we'll turn everything off, all these sweetener tracks, except for the plate reverb. And what we'll do is we'll come over and compare it, the before and after. So this snapshot 1 will be the finished preset with all of the sweeteners. And then when we go to snapshot 2, we will have all of these sweetener tracks turned off except for the reverb. So here's the comparison. I'll play a little bit, foot switch between them so you can hear what adding these little sweetener blocks does to the preset. You can kind of hear a little more sizzle on the top end here, which I was kind of controlling here. Made for a really nice usable preset, but let's take a listen to how this sounds with some P90s and also with some single coil pickups. All right, so here I am now with my Sir Classic T Telly style guitar, so some single coil pickups on the bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Middle position. Again, before and after, here it is without the sweetener. Just kind of smooths things out, and again, polish it, makes it a little more mix ready. Let's check it out with some P90s. So here I am now with my Vigier GV Wood solid body with P90 pickups in it. Bridge pickup. Neck pickup. Middle position. Back to the bridge, and again, the sweetened and unsweetened tone. So here it is with just the amp in the cab. Again, kind of a sizzly high end on it. All right, so there you have it. There's the tones kind of with the sweeteners, without the sweeteners, so you can kind of hear what adding all of those little effects blocks in does. Very subtle, but I think it really does something nice to it. So how does all of this sound in a mix? Well, here is how the various snapshots from my Epic Ultimate preset from the Line 6 Marketplace work together. All right, what do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed that. As I mentioned, the Epic Ultimate preset, multi-snapshot, full array of effects. The effects that are in it are listed on the product page over in the Line 6 Marketplace. The link is below if you want to grab that full preset. The link is also below to my website where you can grab this stripped down single snapshot version, and I hope you enjoy it and mess around with it. Tweak things a little bit to get it to your tastes and your ideals and to suit your guitar and monitoring system. And I really do hope you enjoy that. So thank you so much for sharing your time with me. Please like the video, share it with anybody you think we get some use or enjoyment a minute of watching it. And also please subscribe to the channel. Hit the little bell notification to get notified when I put new content out. I'll be back really soon with some more. Thanks again so much for tuning in. Ciao for now.